PD Beats here from Pop Turner, speaking to Patrick Luwis about Season 6, Part 2 of Cobra Kai, streaming now worldwide on Netflix. Welcome to the show, man. It's good to see you.
Thank you, man. It's so good to be here.
Oh, I mean, where do we start?
I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Take me through the first day that you were on set as Axel. What is that like? What's going through your head? All those days of auditioning, knowing the track record, how popular the show is. What's that first day on set like for you?
Ooh, man. Well, okay. Before I got on set, I do want to put out there that there was a day, we had a training day, basically. So we had the whole cast got together. It was so much fun. And that was sort of so it made the first day on set less intimidating because essentially I got to meet the entire cast and work with everyone and test out some martial arts stuff like before we actually started filming. So we had a couple day training period. So that was sort of like my first introduction. So it almost felt like my first day on set. But dude, everyone, I mean, never like of all the shows, like of all the stuff, I haven't even done that much. But no, it just was such a welcoming, it was such a welcoming group of people, man. It felt so easy jumping in. And I, of course, you're nervous because you want to do a good job. And I think there is this pressure for that character to be extra intimidating. And he's pretty opposite of how I feel as a person. So I was like, man, I hope I can turn this on. But no, the first day was awesome. It was great.
Absolutely. I remember seeing the flashback scene of, young Silver and young Kreese talking about the Sekai Taikai, right? And when I saw that in a past episode, I got really excited as a fan of the show because I said that means that there's a good chance after they showed us that we're going to see the Sekai Taikai, right? Like I was pumped about that. And with these episodes, like we get the Sekai Taikai.
Seeing the Sekai Taikai, yeah. Oh yeah, man. No, you're seeing all of it. It's great.
What was it like for you reading the introduction to the Iron Dragons and Axel specifically, like even before filming it?
It was really cool because I love how they again, this is spoilers, but this is coming out later, so it's fine. The introduction to the characters was cool because there's sort of that moment when we're all at the aquarium in Barcelona and the photographer is sort of like, it's the first glimpse that you get at me and Reina's character Zara. And it's funny because at that point you're sort of like, oh, these are captains, but we're pretty unassuming. And there's that moment where he's like, give me a smile. And I have this sort of awkward, and then at the very end of that episode, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, it's them. It's the people from earlier. And they're these beasts and and they're these incredible fighters. So it was fun to have to really make a stamp coming in like that. Cause they could have, I think again, playing into like the storyline. I mean, one, you already have this bad guy. You have Quan and the new Cobra Kai, and they're already seeming, sort of indestructible in a lot of ways. And then you have to one up that. So I think they needed this strong intro to our characters to give us that extra, oomph behind us to be like, oh man, these guys are the real deal. Yeah. And I love that. I love like the introduction to, or sort of not the introduction, but the showing Sensei Wolf at the very end there too, like the way he's kind of, Johnny recognizing him at the end of episode 6, being like, oh my God, that's the guy who ate all the steak at the food bar or whatever.
That whole reveal of the team is like the greatest thing of all time.
It's just epic. Yeah, it's
Cobra
really fun.
Kai is about to get like schooled by the Iron Dragon.
We just took out the 2 best fighters in the tournament in 2 seconds, right? So it's pretty.
That was like such when you say like set the tone, like that set the tone for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think one of the coolest things about being in a TV show or a movie is being in a TV show and a movie that, is about a specific topic where you're allowed, like where maybe a lot of people, don't know that much about it, but you have an opportunity to, provide exposure for a topic, right? Or for, a specific subject. So in this case, martial arts, right? Karate, essentially. You're in a really cool spot where you're able to kind of, promote and expose karate to a global audience with Netflix. Do you think about that at all? It's such a crazy thing to think about, right?
Yes, I do, but also I think the even going back to your question earlier about the first day on set, I think the less you think about the global scale, the better it is as an actor. I heard I think Jeff Bridges said this one time. He's like he thinks of um big budget movies like $100 million student film.
Yep.
And I think that's a good way to come at it because otherwise like the pressure of knowing all these eyes are going to be on you and yeah, I don't know. Like that I think it almost like adds this level of you don't want to think about that in the making of it, but when it's done and it's out there and already just seeing a little bit of, response from the trailer and just being able to like you said, promote martial arts on this global scale and then also just like a really cool
Mhm.
story. It's yeah, it's incredible, man.
What was it like, with your stunt double? What was it like seeing all the incredible martial artists? Because I spoke to Brandon and he said the coolest thing because he
Yeah.
has a martial arts background and he says a lot of the people
He's
that were
amazing.
there were like, I kind of said, by the way, on my show that I do believe that he's like the next like Jet Li, yeah, I said that to him and he was like, oh my goodness.
100%.
Yeah,
I'll back that any day. Yeah, dude, that guy is a one, he's just like the nicest guy. He's
yeah,
a great guy, so his personality is going to get him very far. He especially like yeah, man, he's so good at what he does, and he did. It was like one of the first things he's acted in, and he
yeah.
did. He's incredible.
It was, yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're also so good in this, man. I do have to
Oh,
say,
stop! Come on.
dude, so
No.
good. Like is like Axel's gonna become a fan favorite. People are gonna be like, oh my goodness, like
That'd be nice. That's very
yeah,
nice. Of you. Thanks.
yeah, and like it's crazy because if you said this, you'd be biased because you're on the show. But
Right.
like, I honestly think these are the best 5 episodes of Cobra Kai of all time. Like these new ones that just came
That's
out.
such a compliment. That's such a compliment, man.
Dude, everything is bigger.
It
Everything.
is.
Think
It
about
is.
that for a second. Like it's all bigger.
It is. And it's so much action. I mean, that's like one of the funnest parts of the show. And like you said earlier, bring up the stunt people when you
Yeah.
have, not only are half of our, like Reina is a professional fight, like she's incredible. Brandon is amazing. Like they're not just acting, they're not just putting
Yeah.
like they are the real deal. Luwis, same way. Like a lot of these people who are have already had that martial arts experience. And then a lot of the people you're seeing like these side characters in fights, like they're all these amazing stunt performers
He
who
was
are
telling me that. He's like, Brandon was
so
telling me, he's like, the martial arts world's small. He's like, he knew a lot of them and looked up to a lot of them. Yeah.
Marina was literally Zara or Reina who
Yeah.
played Zara. She was telling me like my stunt double Matt Mullins. She had known about all of his stuff like Sideswipe Matt. He did these
Yeah.
competitions.
Isn't
Like,
that
he's
cool? That's cool,
so
right? To
cool.
think about. Yeah, I know. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. No, we were very lucky, man. Very very lucky with the
Are you
people
a
that.
black belt now, though, after? Like, is Patrick Lewis a black belt?
No,
Are you
not
close?
even close. Not even close, man. I got so lucky to work with, yeah, all of our, I mean, Ken Bearfield, Don Lee, Matt Mullins, my stunt double, everyone involved in the stunts department and coordinating everything and the choreography was really helpful to me because I was new to all of it. I hadn't done any, and it was kind of nice because my character was this I think my style of fighting is very different from Brandon and
Yeah.
and these other characters, which is good. I'm sort of like this big rock almost, and it's just like every punch really hurts, It's like
Yep.
everything's just kind of the Ivan Drago comparison.
I was about
Um
to say, yes, the Dolph Lundgren comparison. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, which is awesome, man. But so that was kind of fun and it made it a little bit easier for me. I wasn't having to do any like there were a couple moves, like a couple tornado kicks and things that I had to
Yeah.
do that were a bit more challenging to
For
learn, but
sure.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm just wondering, and like getting back to kind of what I was saying about like the script to screen kind of journey, like reading
Oh,
it and
yeah.
actually going and filming it. I mean, the two kind of big storylines. I mean, the big storyline involves, Axel and Sam, right? Where Sam sees that, Axel is getting kind of roughed up by Sensei Wolf,
Yeah.
and there's a stroll that happens, and some awkwardness happens, and
Yeah.
Axel, misread the signals or something like that, and
Right.
then he wants to kill Miguel.
I know. It's like,
Right.
oh. Yeah, exactly.
So what is that like reading all of that and then preparing for it specifically and like talking to like Mary about it and talking to Xolo and talking to Luwis?
Yeah.
Like, cause I love that, right? I love like the preparation of like we have these things on like these storylines, right? And
Yeah.
these conflicts in a script, and we're about to see it come to life on screen. Like, what's that like for you?
Totally. Yeah. luckily for me, I mean, so much of it is on the page and it's pretty self-explanatory, just like given the beats and the dynamics are really well written out.
Yep.
And I think in terms of like the people that I'm working with, I mean, I as an actor for me, I think the vulnerable side of Axel was almost easier for me to do than the intimidating, like big angry guy. Just because it felt like something I naturally think I cater more towards. I felt like it was just a little bit easier for me to get there. And I think especially working with Mary, like Mary's just such a sweetheart. Like she's so nice and made it so easy. And she's a really great actress. And I think you can just feel her sincerity like in that scene. And so really helped me get there. And then with with Luwis and those scenes, the like abuse scenes and other things, yeah, he's such a nice guy, but he does have this very intimidating way about him, and I think it just put me in it instantly. So sometimes you have to work a little bit harder to get there, and then there's some actors you work opposite of who just can help you get there immediately. And the stuff with Miguel, obviously, that was kind of
that because it's literally like, what did I do? Like you tried.
Yeah, I know. It's like, look at that. What the heck? We were cracking up during that scene too because it was just should be a really quick moment because it's literally just me looking at him, and I think we had to do probably more takes than we should have just because I kept laughing. I don't know why. Every time he turned to me, we were just
Absolutely. And then last question for a wrap up. I mean, spoiler alert for everyone watching, but just we're gonna talk about it, and I can't believe that happened. Like I
didn't mean to. Okay, I didn't mean to do it.
Well, no, I feel like I can't believe that like Kwan dies. Like I can't believe that. Well, I think it's Brandon kind of talked about it because I talked to him already, right? Yeah. And he says it was really important to kind of like for the story to really make it that like he did not do it intentionally, right? Like
I couldn't have. Yeah, like it would have been, it would have been such a different story and a totally different character if I had done it intentionally. But dude, it's man, it's still it's like as an actor, it's kind of fun because you're involved in this thing that has never happened really in the show before. Like I don't think we've ever seen a young student die, and it's done in such an epic way too. So it's kind of exciting to be involved in it. I'm disappointed. I love the character of Kwan, so I'm obviously I'm disappointed that he dies, but I think it's a really like great cliffhanger ending and to the second part, and just to the entirety of like the brawl that happens. Just like a crazy way.
Dude, that brawl was insane. Like I couldn't even get over that brawl was nuts.
So fun though, right, man? Like it was crazy.
That's the best episode of Cobra Kai ever.
Wow, that's thank you. That's super high praise. That's great that's awesome to hear.
There's so much that kind of
thank you, like
too.
As if I had anything to do with it. Like
there's so much erupts too, because it's like all of a sudden it's like you're like fighting Robby and you push Robby, and then there's obviously like the Kwan like elbow, and then Miguel, you like go after Miguel, like so much happens.
So many different like little side beefs going on.
And then Tiger Strike, destroy.
Yes. It's just crazy, man. I know it's chaos. I don't know how we managed to film. I feel like we shot that. I want to say it was like in 2 days, like a day or two or something. It was crazy.
Yeah. We have to put this out. Like we got to let people. Let's just establish right now when we're going to put this up. We need to give people like three days. Right?
They got to have a little bit of time. Yeah. We don't want to. Right.
3 or 4 days for sure.
I think most like super fans will watch it almost in like one sitting because it's not crazy episodes, but we got to give them
it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be nuts. And I'm so happy for you, man. Congratulations. Like,
thank you so much, man. I really appreciate
so great chatting with you, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. This was fantastic. I love talking with you.
Absolutely.
Congrats again on your film that's out. And
thank you.
And hope to chat again soon.
Absolutely. Instagram account is Patrick Luwis with a U instead of an E.
Yes, yeah. That's right. Patrick D. Luwis, because I have my middle name. Yeah, well, thank you.
I'm sure there's going to be some Axel BTS and stuff being posted and stories and
that'd be cool, man. Well, thank you so much again for having me on. It was great chatting with you.
Absolutely. This has been Pop Turner. If you do.com/Pop Turner previous episodes. Until next time, this is Patrick, who plays Axel in season 6, part 2 of Cobra Kai. streaming worldwide now on Netflix. And Peter Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.